we, all of us, our main aim is that what we want to make our students to learn. What to learn? Again, at that point, when we put that question, what we have to make the students to learn, our curriculum comes. Okay, that is transaction of the learning experiences, or what kind of learning experiences you want to provide to your students is nothing but the curriculum. Then after that, okay, you have provided the learning experiences and how, what is the way of providing that curriculum? How you are going to transact that curriculum or learning materials, or what are the means and ways of giving or transacting the information? There comes our pedagogy. And then after giving, you have identified your curriculum or learning material, and then you know about how to transact that material. And then after that, what happened? Okay, by following some ways and means or some strategies or whatever we call as teaching methods or strategies, we have transacted the curriculum. Then what is the effect of this curriculum and pedagogy? Then at the last, we stand in the state of assessment. That means I want to know about to what extent the students have learned whatever the material or information given by me. So that is assessment. So here my presentation is going to concentrate on with reference to the NEP 2020, because it is an NEP orientation program. So we have to concentrate on NEP, what NEP 2020 says about curriculum, pedagogy and assessment. National education policy, it emphasizes where the if we go through the vision of this policy NEP 2020, where it emphasizes an education system rooted in Indian ethos that can contribute directly to the transforming India. That is what we call Bharat, and a sustainable, equitable, and vibrant knowledge society by providing high quality education to all and thereby making India a global knowledge superpower. That is to convert India into Bharat and to create or construct an equitable and knowledge society. Here we have to provide high quality education. With that mission, the NEP 2020, it has focused or it has given his attention towards changes, to bring changes in the curricular and pedagogical structure. So if we see what is the purpose of education, the ultimate aim of whatever the education we are providing to our students is that the ultimate aim is development of human beings. That is humanistic society where we have to value the human beings. We have to give importance to the humanistic values. So it wants to develop good human beings who are capable of rational thought and action, possess compassion and empathy, courage and resilience, scientific temper and creative imagination, sound ethical moorings and values, and also it aims at producing engaged, productive, and contributing citizens to build an equitable, inclusive, and plural society as emphasized by our Constitution. So, according to the principles of the NEP 2020 policy, it says that the purpose of education is to develop good human beings. So, if we go through the present status of our society, where although we are capable, we have potentialities. We are not utilizing that potentialities or capabilities. And also, this compassion and empathy, we can't. That if you are living in the like advanced cities, we can see we don't know who is our neighbor or who is next to me. And if something happens to anybody, we are not in a condition to help them, or we are not. So therefore, and if we go through the daily newspaper, we are seeing the news which makes us to think about what is happening to our question, where the point of resilience comes. That means we are not able to cope up with the daily challenges of life. For a small problem, even for a small thing, we are going to lose our courage. We are going to lose our temper, and we are going to take quick decision. So with that, what we are going to harm our life itself. So therefore, and then, if you want to improve your society, we require a scientific temper and creative imagination. And that scientific temper should follow the ethical values. Without any ethical values, we can't think about our science. And therefore, the main aim of our purpose of education, as per NEP 2020, is to develop good human beings who are capable of rational thought, possess compassion and empathy, courage and resilience, scientific temper and creative imagination, and who can follow the ethical values. Then only we can create an engaged, productive, and contributing citizens to build up equitable and inclusive society. And this is already envisaged by our constitution. So if this is the purpose of education, again the NEP, it elaborates the aim of education. Nowadays we can see, and being a parents and being teachers or whoever working in any educational institution or involved in the educational system, we are aiming only towards the cognitive domain, and where we are leaving behind the other two domains like affective domain and our psychomotor domain. So we want to develop the cognitive abilities of our children, and we don't want to make them like they are capable with reference to the other domains also. So therefore, NEP, it focuses, apart from creation of the human beings who are capable with what are the qualities I told, it also aims at the development of building or forming the character and create holistic and well-rounded individuals who can equip or who can live in the 21st century with the skills demanded by the century. So therefore here, apart from giving or focusing more on the cognitive development, we have to give importance to the character building and also creation of holistic and well-rounded individual. That is, the individual should be developed in all dimension, like his mental, with reference to his mental dimension, physical dimension, spiritual dimension, social dimension. That is all-round development. What Mahatma Gandhi has also said while giving a meaning to education, it is the all-round development of the personality. Again, the NEP 2020 emphasizes on the all-round development of the individuals, and where we have to equip that individuals as per the 21st century skills. So therefore, if this kind of education, if we want to provide, then we have to reorient and revamp all aspects of our curriculum and pedagogy. At present, whatever the curriculum or pedagogy we are having in our system, we have to reorient and revamp this curriculum and pedagogy for what? To attain these critical goals. Whatever the goals I told, that is building the character or the holistic and well-rounded individuals and to equip them with the 21st century skills. Courage and resilience, empathy and compassion. If you want to develop such kind of individuals, we have to reconsider or we have to modify the curriculum and pedagogy. So because of this, with this background, the NEP 2020 has taken a lot of pain to make changes in the curriculum and pedagogy. So because of that, it has changed the system of education where education should be moved towards less content. Less content means if you go through fifth or sixth or seventh standard child's curriculum or the textbooks, you can see the content. It is overloaded. So NEP 2020, it asks the education or what kind of education we expect. So it should be less content and it should move towards learning about how to think critically and solve problems, how we can solve our problems and how we can think critically about any issues. So that kind of learning is needed. And how to be creative and multidisciplinary. So nowadays, what is happening because of this technology, all of us, including from the small child, they are not able to think or they are not able to think or creatively are not able to find out creative solutions to a small problem. So for each and everything, they depend on their mobile, what we say call cell phone with internet facility. For a single word, if they want to know the meaning, they go for the mobile. So where we are curbing the potentialities of the child. So if you want to make them more creative and multidisciplinary and how to innovate, adapt and absorb new material in the novel and changing fields, and that is with reference to the curriculum. That is, it should be less content and it should make the children to think critically and solve problem. They should be creative and multidisciplinary. And if we come to the pedagogy, how the pedagogy should be experiential. So experiential means hands-on training where the students can involve themselves in the activities. That kind of pedagogy is required. Experiential, holistic, integrated, inquiry-driven, discovery-oriented, learner-centered, discussion-based, flexible and of course enjoyable pedagogy is essential to achieve whatever the aims NEP has mentioned. And the curriculum must include the multidisciplinary, I told, the content from the different fields like arts, crafts, humanities. Ilva. Okay.
Stop sharing. Stop sharing.
Okay. ಅದ್ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನು
ಅದೇ ಅಲ್ವಾ ನಮಗೆ. Dear participants, invisible in PPT.
Can you see the PPT slides?
Yes, now we can see, ma'am.
Nobody has informed me.
Yes, madam. Yes.
You could have told me.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
It's okay. Now you
Right now it's visible.
yeah,
madam.
yeah. One minute. ಇದು ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. This is mine, na? Yeah. Okay. Now can you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We will move on. And the curriculum must include all
Yes.
content from all the Please. So that kind of curriculum and pedagogy we expect. Then what is curriculum? Simply I am giving the meaning of curriculum. In detail, I'm not going to discuss in detail the curriculum, its principles, all that, because I'm concentrating more on the NEP 2020, what it says about the curriculum for different levels of education. So, if we come to the curriculum is nothing but already I told it is a complete set of planned learning experiences provided to students encompassing both academic and non-academic activities. So, in our mind, curriculum means we are going to think about the academic aspects only. But curriculum is not only the academic, it includes non-academic activities also. It is a set of planned learning experiences provided to the students. It includes both academic and non-academic activities. And some people refer this curriculum as syllabus also. But the syllabus is different from the curriculum. Already I told curriculum is a complete set and it includes both academic and non-academic or curricular and non-curricular activities. But the syllabus is meant with only the content, what we want to transact in a particular classroom. Like it includes goals, content, teaching methods, and assessment strategies used to guide the learn. So therefore, here syllabus, whatever, there is a prescribed content. For example, let us take one course, Psychology of Education, for a undergraduate level, that too especially for the first year, first sem students. Then we are going to have 5 units or 4 units and we are going to follow or we are going to transact that to our students. That is syllabus. Curriculum, apart from that, all the syllabus for different subjects and other non-academic activities, that is referred as curriculum. And it is a framework for students what to learn and how they learned it within an educational institution. Curriculum provides framework for students and they learn and how they are going to learn it within the educational institution. That is considered as curriculum. Then pedagogy. So pedagogy is nothing but it is the theory and practice of teaching. Theory and practice of teaching means what is the theory behind the teaching? What is teaching? That is the concept, the nature, that is theory. Then practice of teaching, whatever you have learned in the theory, that should come in practice. That is practice. So therefore, here pedagogy means not only the theory of teaching or not only the practice of teaching. It refers to both theory and practice of teaching. That is considered as or called as pedagogy. It includes methods, strategies, and educators used to help students to learn. That is the methods and strategies used by educators to help the students to learn. And it also considers interaction between the educator, learner, and subject matter. So here, educator, the teacher, learner, student, and subject matter means whatever the syllabus or content you want to interact or you want to transact or transfer to your students. So you are going to transfer that material using some methods and strategies, and all that is considered as pedagogy. And the effective pedagogy, it aims to foster meaningful and lasting learning by understanding how students learn and structuring learning experiences according to this. That means according to the learning experiences or according to the how students learn. That is, we know that classroom is a diverse group. In a classroom, we are going to have students like different kind of students. That what we say individual differences. That means, for example, you may have students from different socio-economic background or different language background or cultural background or religious background, and also from different socio-economic statuses, and with the students may have in different levels of interest, their attitude. All these makes our classroom a diverse classroom, and for that classroom we are going to teach. So at that moment it is essential to understand how students learn, and we can structure our learning experiences according to the needs of the students. So that is effective which we can provide a meaningful learning and lasting. That means a retainable learning to the students. Then coming to the NEP, I told the NEP, it has its in its vision and its in its principle. It emphasizes on the modification or revamping of the structure of the system of education, where this policy envisages that the present what we have 10+2 structure in the school education, and then +3+2 whatever is there in the higher education level, it will be modified with a new pedagogical and curricular structure. So it wants to modify the 10+2 system in the school education into a new structure, that is 5+3+3+4 structure. And this policy NEP 2020 emphasizes more on the strong base. It has considered early childhood care and education as the strong base for this whole school education, and it is aimed at promoting the better overall learning, development, and well-being. See, it is not only concentrating on the learning of cognitive subject. It is aiming on the overall learning. Overall means it covers all the aspects of the human being and development, and also well-being of the human beings or well-being of the individuals. Here, coming to the structure, what I told, 5+3+4. Here, the first 5 years level, it is related with the basic education, or what we call is early education, early childhood care education. Here, for children up to the age of 8. Here, here it should consist of flexible, multifaceted, and multi-level, play-based, activity-based, and inquiry-based learning. That is the main aim with reference to the ECC. Main aim of the NEP with reference to the ECC. Again, here the ECC, it is concentrating on the education of the children between 3 to 8 years. So, therefore, it focuses on developing the social capacities, sensitivity, good behavior, courtesy, ethics, personal and public cleanliness, teamwork, and cooperation. So here, why? Because if the foundation is strong, then we can build up the next structure, whatever we want to build. So therefore, at the ECC level, it is focusing on developing the social capacities. Why this social capacity? Because the child which is going to get socialized at his first level with his home, then after that the child enters into the society. That is, directly it will not enter into the society, it will comes to the formal system of education, where again the school is a kind of agency of socialization. It wants to develop the social capacities among the child, like how to behave with others, how to talk with others. They are the social capacities or social skills what we expect from the child. So therefore, the early childhood care education, it focuses more on developing the social, it directly makes the child to learn content like maths or English or Kannada or any other language. But at the first level, what we say, the foundation level, this emphasizes on development of the social capacities, good behavior, sensitivity, personal and public cleanliness, teamwork, and cooperation. So, therefore, here it also aims at the development of outcomes in the domains of physical and motor development, cognitive development, socio-emotional, ethical development, cultural development, and development of the communication and early language literacy and numeracy. That's why the NEP 2020, it has emphasized more on the foundational literacy and numeracy at the primary level, because now even today, oh, most of the children, they are not able to identify the uh, basic, that is, they are not able to compute the foundational calculations like 1 plus 1, like that, and are not able to identify the letters. So because of that reason, the NEP 2020, it has focused more on the early childhood care education, and it emphasizes on the cognitive development, physical and motor development. And according to this National Curricular and Pedagogical Framework for this ECCE, it will be developed by the NCERT, that is, whatever the curriculum or content with relation to the early childhood care and education, and it will be developed in two parts. The first framework, sub-framework, will be 0 to 3-year-olds, and a sub-framework for 3 to 8-year-olds, aligned with the guidelines. That is, whatever the latest research in the ECC and national and international best practices, it develops the curricular and pedagogical framework. And it the numerous rich local traditions of India developed over millennia in ECC, involving art, stories, poetry, games, song, will be suitably incorporated for 3 to 8-year-olds curriculum. And it serves as a guide both for the parents and early childhood care and education institution, that it focuses more on the art, stories, and poetry, songs, and we know that we have Anganwadis. In Anganwadis, they are going to make the child to learn through songs, through some poems. So therefore, such kind of art, stories, poetry are essential for early childhood care education. And the responsibility for this ECC curriculum and pedagogy will lie with the MHRD to ensure its continuity from pre-primary school through primary school, and also due attention to the foundational aspects of education. So therefore, the responsibility of the curriculum and pedagogy, it lies with the MHRD. Why? Because the Department of Education, what we say Ministry of Education, it is with the MHRD, and pre-primary, whatever what I told, ECC, that follows the primary school. So therefore, it wants to keep an eye on the foundational aspects of education. And it will be, the implementation of this will be carried out jointly by the ministries of HRD, women and child development, health and family welfare, and tribal affairs. And a special joint task force will be constituted for continuous guidance of the smooth integration of early childhood care and education into school education. How we can integrate this ECC into our school education. And if we come to the curriculum, what it should include? What should be the content of the ECCE curriculum? So already I told where it focus more on the foundational literacy and numeracy, and generally reading, writing, speaking, counting, arithmetic, and mathematical thinking throughout the preparatory and middle school curriculum. That is up to the middle school curriculum. It emphasizes on the literacy and numeracy, reading, writing, speaking, and mathematical thinking skills. And then it also emphasizes on the continuous formative or adaptive assessment track and individualize the students' learning. And specific covers daily and regular events over the year-on activities involving these subjects will be dedicated to encourage and enthuse students. So even in the teacher education curriculum, early grade curriculum will be redesigned. That is, as we are going to change the curriculum at the ECC level, according to that, we have to prepare our teachers. If we want to prepare our teachers, again, the curriculum, whatever we are having in our teacher education system, again, that has to be redesigned according to the whatever changes taken place in the ECCE curriculum. So, if we come to the foundational stage, already I told 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, the first 5 years, it is flexible, multi-level, activity-based learning and the curriculum and pedagogy. Whatever the curriculum we are going to have at the foundational stage, it should be flexible, multi-level and activity-based learning. So therefore, the first preparatory stage, in the out of 5 years, the first 3 years of education, it builds on the play, discovery and activity-based pedagogical and curricular style of the foundational stage. And it also begin to incorporate some light text as well as aspects of more formal but interactive classroom learning. That means there is no lecture method, or the teacher is not going to teach or make the students to understand using some content like that. But with this play, discovery and activity based pedagogy or whatever the content, they are going to include some textbooks as well as a simple textbooks, but it is an interactive classroom learning. For what purpose? To lay a solid background or a groundwork across the subjects. That means different subjects, whatever we have, like languages, science and mathematics, reading, writing, speaking, and physical education. To give a strong foundation for these subjects, the foundational stage will include some light textbooks, and that syllabus or the content will be given to the students in an interactive manner. There is no one way of teaching like that. And then the next middle stage will comprise 3 years of education. Again, this stage is built on the pedagogical and curricular structure of the preparatory stage. Again, that is, again in the middle stage, it follows whatever the students had in their foundational stage, like play, discovery, and activity-based reading, writing. With that, here, subject teachers for learning and discussion of the more abstract concepts in each subjects will be introduced. That is, subject teachers are going to be introduced at the middle stage to make the students ready for the different subjects at the middle stage, like sciences, mathematics, arts, social sciences, and humanities. And then experiential learning is emphasized or more focused on experiential learning with each subject, and explorations of relations among different subjects will be encouraged and emphasized despite the introduction of more specialized subjects and subject teachers. Although the middle stage introduces subject teachers for learning and discussion of the different subjects, it emphasizes on the experiential learning and explorations where they are going to make the students to explore the relation between the different subjects rather than the specialized subject introduction of specialized subjects or subject teachers. It emphasizes on the students should able to learn the different relate the different subjects. What is the relationship between science and math, science and language, maths and history, like that. And the secondary stage will comprise of 4 years of multidisciplinary study. So first 5 years it is a foundational stage. So next 3 is the middle stage, and then foundational, preparatory, middle, and then secondary stage consists of 4 years, and it is considered as the multidisciplinary study level, and it builds on the subject oriented pedagogical and curricular style of the middle stage. Like it is based on the middle stage pedagogical and curricular style, but at the secondary stage, greater depth, greater critical thinking, and greater attention to the aspirations will be given. That means an in-depth knowledge of a subject is provided at the secondary stage, and it emphasizes on the greater critical thinking. Just not transfer the material, but it makes the students to think critically about what they have learned, and it also gives attention to the life aspirations and greater flexibility and student choice of subjects. That means we can observe there is greater flexibility and student opportunity for the students to choose their subjects. There is no rigidity in following the subjects. For example, a student has to study only these subjects or not these subjects. There is no rigidity. Flexibility is provided, and then the students can choose their subjects. And that too, particularly students would continue to have the option of exit option after grade 10 and re-enter in the next phase to pursue occasional or any other courses available in grades 11 and 12, including a more specialized school if so decide. That means if the child wants to continue to have the option of exit, and that is after grade 10, the child can exit the grade 10 and can re-enter the next phase, where if the child is not interested in continuing his higher education, can go for the occasional or some other courses which are available at the 11 and 12. And if the child wants to go for a more specialized school, then also opportunities provided. There is no rigid rule that after the completion of the grade 10, the child should go for the +2 level only. The child should choose that option only for his future. There is no rigidity like that. The child at the completion of grade 10 itself can go for its occasional courses or any other courses. And then that is the structure of the pedagogical and curricular style with reference to the first 5 years of foundational stage, next 3 years of preparatory stage, next 3 years of secondary middle stage, and then 4 years of secondary stage, and 4 years of secondary stage. And then the main NEP 2020, it wants to shift the rote learning to the student-centric, experiential and inquiry-based approach. What I told, curriculum and pedagogy, the curriculum should be move from more content to less content, and rote learning should be move to student-centric, experiential and inquiry-based approach. And curriculum should be restructured according to the 5+3+4 framework, that is foundational 5, preparatory 3, middle and 3, secondary 4. Already I told. And it emphasizes more on the holistic and multidisciplinary subject. That means broad spectrum of subjects, not only the whatever traditional subjects are there like maths, English, some or any science or history. It should include arts, crafts, humanities, occasional skills alongside the traditional academic disciplines. And already I told about the reduced content, and flexibility and choice should be there, where students will have more freedom to choose subject and pursue their interest. And integration of vocational education, that is vocational training will be integrated at all levels, making education more practical and relevant, and focus more on the foundational literacy and numeracy. And our pedagogy should concentrate on experiential learning. That means at all the stages of learning, whatever I told, the 4 stages, experiential learning will be adopted, like including hands-on learning, arts integrated and sports integrated education, storytelling based pedagogy, and as a standard pedagogy in each subject, and with explorations of relations among different subjects. And then inquiry based learning. Students should be encouraged to explore, question and discover knowledge through active participation, critical thinking and creativity. That means make the students to think critically on each and every aspects, and make them to find out the creative solutions for the problems, develop the qualities of critical thinking, problem solving and creativity. And then technology integration. Already we are living in the technological era. Without that we can't. So therefore technology will be used to enhance teaching and learning with initiatives like the National Educational Technology Forum. And then assessment reforms. We have to make reforms in our assessment. And then teacher training. Policy emphasizes need for comprehensive teacher training programs to support the implementation of new pedagogical approach. That means in the teacher education training program, the teachers are going to be trained to follow the different pedagogical approach. And whatever the curriculum framework, that means whatever the curriculum we want to develop for the different levels of education, that is the responsibility of the NCERT and the SCERT, that is State Council of Educational Research and Training. And that curriculum is not prepared on their own, but in consultation with the teachers and experts, taking the views of the teachers and experts. The NCERT and SCERT is going to develop the curriculum for all the stages. So therefore, the concerted curricular and pedagogical initiatives, including the introduction of contemporary subjects, apart from whatever I told, technology and all that, it also make provision for the introduction of contemporary subjects like AI. For each and everything, today we are dependent on the AI, design thinking, holistic health, organic living, environmental education, global citizenship education, at all relevant stages, to develop these various important skills in students at all levels. That is, we have to take action to develop all these skills among our students at all the levels of education. And in all the curriculum and pedagogy, that is starting from the foundational stage to the secondary stage and to the higher education, it should be designed to strongly rooted. That means we have to make our students to know about our Indian context, where we have to make them, we have to redesign our curriculum and pedagogy with reference to Indian and local context. Try to include culture, traditions, heritage, customs, language, or philosophy, whatever we have in our society, in the curriculum. For what purpose? To make our students effective students, like maximally relatable, relevant, interesting, and effective for our students. And for that, we can have stories, arts, games, etc., as much as possible in the which are rooted in our Indian and local geographic context. And ideas, abstractions will indeed best flourish when learning is thus rooted. That means, for example, if you want to learn a language, a new language, your mother tongue or whatever your mother language is there, it should has a strong base. Then that helps you to learn the other languages. So like that here, whatever the ideas, abstractions, creativity, if you want to boost among your students, you follow these, the stories, games, which are there in our local geographic context. If you are going to make the child to learn something which the child does not know, for example, you are living in a village. Like, for example, if I take Mysore and I'm giving the example of somewhere like abroad, like Australian or African country, the child may find difficulty in understanding. So, therefore, we have to select Indian and local geographical available examples to transact the curriculum. So, if we come to the higher education, again, there may be a question, okay? They have divided the curricular structure into 4 levels. They had some defined curriculum or what should be included. If we come to the higher education, so where even it provides some recommendations with reference to the higher education, where it must aim to develop a good, thoughtful, well-rounded and creative individuals. So here I'm telling about the creative individuals. Creative individuals, but nowadays, to what extent our students are creative, that is a big question mark in front of us. Now we have that chat GPT, ask Gemini each and everything. For a simple question, the students go to find out answer in their chat GPT. Then how can we expect the creative individuals? Yes, I'm not saying that you are not supposed to use the technology and all that, but you should, what I told in the previous slide, critical thinking. Whatever the chat GPT or other AI tools gives answers to your questions, you have to verify it. You have to able to apply that to your context, whether it is relevant or not. That thinking capacity should be developed among our students. So that kind of higher education we are going to expect. NEP 2020 emphasizes on that kind of higher education, where the higher education should aim to develop a good, thoughtful, well-rounded and creative individuals. And it also enable an individual to study one or more specialized areas of interest at a deep level. That means as the child or student enters the higher education level, the child should have a deeper level of knowledge in a particular subject, or what here they have said, specialized area, in a specialized subject. So therefore the child then only can become a thoughtful student. So they should study one or more specialized subject at a deep level and also develop character that is related with the cognitive development. If we come to the other part or the other aspect, what NEP says, it should also develop character, ethical and constitutional values among the students, intellectual curiosity, scientific temper, that means where you should be able to accept and understand science. What are the advancements in the field of science? That scientific temper, creativity, and spirit of service. See, the spirit of service also it expects. And
It is Sudhakar.
21st century capabilities across a range of disciplines, not only with reference to one subject, it covers all the subjects like science, social sciences, arts, humanities, language, as well as professional, technical, and vocational subject. That is, the students from all these subjects should develop all these qualities. That should be the main aim of the higher education. And a quality higher education must enable personal accomplishment, because at the foundation level or what up to the school education, the students they are going to think according to the wishes of their teachers or parents or like that. Then only they will enter or they step into the field of self thinking, like critical thinking, like that. So therefore, a quality higher education must enable personal accomplishment and enlightenment. That means they should have, they are responsible for their accomplishment. That quality or that characteristic should be developed among our students. And then constructive public engagement, that means how I can engage with my community constructively. What is my contribution towards my society? And productive contribution to the society. Constructive public engagement means whatever you are going, whenever you are going to engage with the community, public means community, that engagement should be constructive. It should not harm the society. So that kind of quality higher education should be provided, and it must prepare students more meaningful and to live more meaningful and satisfying lives and work roles and enable economic independence. Work roles and economic independence. That means we should make the students to understand what is their role in the society and how they can achieve their economic independence and can live more meaningful and satisfied life in the society. That is our. After the completion of the education, ultimately the students enters into the society. They will come back to the society only. When the student comes back to the society, whatever the education they have got, that should come to their help, where the child or the student should able to stand on his own feet. That is nothing but economic independence and can live a meaningful and satisfied life. That is without any disturbances or without any confusions, like having a good mental well-being, physical well-being, and social well-being, all that. So then only the student can live a meaningful and satisfying life. So work roles means where we have to make the child to understand what is their role, what is their workload in the society. So that should be the main aim of the higher education as per the NEP 2020. Then pedagogy, already I told. So pedagogy means it is the art of teaching, we call theory and practice of teaching. So now in our classrooms, in our regular, even now, my whatever I am pedagogy I am following, it is also a kind of passive. Just I am going on telling with the help of PPT. So like what is NEP, what it says, like that. You are just listening to me. You have become passive listeners. So we have followed that kind of pedagogy since from that what we call traditional method of teaching. But as the society changed and we have changed the system of education as per the recommendations of the different committees and commissions, we have made changes in our pedagogy, also in our methods of teaching. But still, we focusing more on traditional method of teaching. But NEP 2020, it emphasizes for student-centric, experiential and inquiry-based approach to teaching. So that is, we have to move from traditional rote learning method to critical thinking, problem solving and creativity. That means our teaching method should be in such a manner that should enhance or encourage the students to think critically, solve the problems and act, or they can think creatively. So the pedagogy will be supported by the development of new teaching learning materials, textbooks and teacher training programs. So that means whatever the NEP emphasizes for student-centric, experiential and inquiry-based approach, pedagogy, that to follow this pedagogy, a new teaching learning material, textbooks and teacher training programs will be developed to support this pedagogy. So therefore, we have to move from the traditional rote learning method to the student-centric, experiential and inquiry-based approach. And it also emphasizes for continuous evaluation and assessment of students' progress. For continuous not only assessing students at the last, instead we have to assess students regularly, continuously, and it should focus on evaluating students' conceptual understanding, problem solving skills and creativity. Not only the conceptual understanding, their skills and creativity also be included in the assessment. And another one significant change, what it has suggested in pedagogy, is integration of technology in education. That is, we have to include technology in the education. Why? It says it improves the quality of education and make it more accessible and affordable. Yes, of course. Now you people are sitting in some in different parts of Karnataka and out of Karnataka also, but still you can see me and I can see you, and you can listen to me and I can. So therefore, this makes more accessible and affordable. That is, it improves the quality of education, and each and everybody, even the last person and the person who is in the living in the remote area, can also access the education, quality education, and it is affordable also. Therefore, it encourages the use of online learning platforms, digital content, and virtual classrooms. So therefore, if with reference to the pedagogy, we have to move from rote learning to the student-centric experiential, and we have to assess continuously, and we have to integrate technology in our system of education. So in the next session, we will discuss about the